Drive on Mama, buckle up. Andrea TV here from driveonmama.com, coming to you today on a dinner shift. And to answer questions for some, not for all, because the things I'll be saying in this video, many people will not agree. You do what you want, but this can and will help someone. What is the best way to Doordash? It depends on your market, your time that you have to dash, and your willingness to put up with unfavorable orders at times. Right now, today, it is about 5:50. I started this dash with a 73% acceptance rate. I declined my first order. It's a $2 prepay going on, and it was for $27 going 8 miles. I know my market, I know my area. That 2 pickups and 2 drop-offs would have taken me, I believe they told me, it would have taken me a better part of an hour, and I would be outside of my zone. I declined it for those reasons. The next order, I did accept. My market right now still has the high order program, but not the tier program. If you look at my stats, right now, if I was in a market that had the tier program, I wouldn't qualify because as a top dasher, I'm a top dasher also, I wouldn't qualify because my completion rate currently is only at 91%. After many painstaking tries, I figured out that in my market in 2024 and for 2023, that being top dasher is very beneficial. I have this second order, 1125, going 2.9 miles. That is a large order program. A large order program is orders that have a subtotal of $100 or more. Even once I made top dasher, I still was not in the large order program. I made a little bit more money than cherry picking, but nothing like compared. Ooh, it's windy. Nothing like compared to the orders once I got into the large order program. So when the tier program comes to my market, I'm going to have to maintain that 95 or I still won't qualify. And that's just one of my tips, and I'll keep going as the night goes on. Well, let's go pick up this sushi. 17 items. Monkey roll on. Okay, that order's dropped off and it went up to $21.35. It was a 16-minute drive from the restaurant and, of course, a 16/17-minute drive back. So it is now about 6:40-ish. A whole hour, $21.35 and a $2 peak pay, and it's a Friday night. I take the low orders when it is slow, because then I can play around when it's crunch time. Like right now, I am not able to play around. I paused my dash before I dropped off so I wouldn't get any orders way out where there are no restaurants. It was all residential. I find even when you pause your dash, when you get back into the zone, they're going to try to feed you the orders nobody wants. And that is what happened. I am sitting at 70% acceptance rate right now and 90% completion rate. They sent me an order going 12 miles that I declined. Then they sent a batched order also going more than 7 miles out, which I declined. And it's starting to rain, if you can hear. And then I accepted a close one, but it was most likely a no tip. It was $6.25 for 2.7 miles, and the base pay in my market is $2.75. So $4.75 would have been the start. It probably went up to the $6.25 because I doubt they tipped $1.50. Maybe they did. But once I accepted the order and I saw they ordered 12 things from a Chinese restaurant, no sir ma'am, I'm sorry, I just can't do that. So I unassigned it, and that's why I have a 90% completion rate. So now I was stuck between the rock and a hard place. I'm gonna tell you, if you're in a diamond zone, the best way to DoorDash is not to let your acceptance rate fall below 70, nor your completion rate fall below 90. And I was very grateful that the following order I was willing to take, $13.25 going, I believe, 3 and change miles. Let's go get some Mexican. And we are back on the avenue. That order went up to $16.75. Thank you, Mr. Customer. And then we arrived back on the block and prayed and crossed our fingers that we would get an order that we were willing to accept. And the mileage is going in the right direction. Once you know your market, where it's going and how you're going to get there is key. So this is more than 7 miles. It is 2 orders, $31.50, going 8.3 miles in total, 2 pickups. Now, if you look at the time that I received the order, it was 7:14. This is for 2 orders. One should be ready 7:22, the other 7:25. Most likely, these restaurants just received these orders within the last few minutes. The best way to Doordash is to play the game your way. You need to have, in my market, for me, you need to have an acceptance rate of 70 or above in order to get the high paying orders. Top Dasher is even better because then you have Dash Anytime as well. And large order program is the cream of the crop if you can get that. And if you are in the tier program, you don't even have to apply for the large order program as long as you meet that 70% and 95% completion and get your catering bag and take a picture. That is the magic ingredient to make the most money on Doordash in my market, in my experience. So let's see how long it is before we actually get these orders in the car.
Time is now 7:33. We have both orders and we're heading.
We are back on the avenue. It is about 8:30-ish. And one customer tipped 10, the other tipped 9, and the rest was the base pay and the peak pay from Doordash. And peak pay is now over. We are or have received our next 2 orders, and our acceptance rate did not go above the 71%. I don't know if you keep track of it on a piece of paper or a spreadsheet, but I do not, so I can't understand how I would have declined 4 orders in a row. But okay, I'm still at 71%. $7.50, 4.3 miles, and an add-on for $7, an additional 1.5. Let's go get some halal food and some Chinese food.
We have 1 order picked up, waiting on the second. And I don't know why I mentioned it's 8:30 and peak pay is over. The peak pay was over at 7:29.
Well, a lot has happened since we last spoke. We dropped off that order and then forgot I had only scheduled to work till 9 because I was only going to work for 3 hours for dinner shift. That dash ended us with $85.60. The goal for the dinner shift was $100. So it ended our dash at the drop off. We went back to the avenue, logged back on, and took 2 small orders and good orders, close orders, high paying orders, did not have to decline, and ended again. We were right at $100.10. $85.60 and I think $14.50 for the 2 runs. And then I said, well, you know, $100 in Doordash land is not $100 because you're going to have or take out for your gas and taxes, and you didn't net $100. So I turned the app back on just to see if there was anything within a few minutes before I was too tired to continue, and there was. We received a large order. Someone must be having a slumber party or a birthday party. We have a whole bunch of shakes and some French fries. Let's go make somebody's night. And the final order of the night has been dropped off. That $14 went up to $23.59. We are very grateful and thankful, and we are ending our night for tonight. The best way to Doordash, you're gonna have to try and see what works in your area. I choose to keep the acceptance rate above 70% and completion rate 90% or above. I dash 30 minutes from where I live. I have found the perfect market where I can stand the low orders and the good orders are very good. And it works for when it's time to pick up my children and everything else. So you're going to have to work it out for your own market, and don't be afraid to go outside of the zone that you live in. That is just my opinion, and hopefully this helps. And drive on, mama!